sound of the
Hit the
trading
thumbs up
bell.
button.
My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success.
I'm kind of noticing I'm on FinViz. Good morning, everybody. Hit the thumbs up button. Tuesday, January 7th. Top gainer, Fubo gained 251. What's Box L? Box Light. I mean, that's up 269%. I mean, just what up? Fubo new high at 506. I think it's slightly up today too. Box L. I mean, FinViz gives you such good, top losers. INTZ intrusion software. Most active. I mean, you can click on most active and just get a list of NVIDIA, CNSP Pharmaceutical. I mean, look at that one. God, what do you want? Box L, just earnings call. I guess there's no news on this one. Communication equipment. Let's see, what's Box L in the quant? It's a hold. Fubo, I mean, Nathaniel, if Fubo TV fits your risk profile, it is, I can't imagine that I'd want it, but if you want, I mean, just here, this is my pre-market movers. This is the page that I used to trade on. I'll send it. I'll put it in the chat. This is the page that I literally would wake up at 5 in the morning. Morning, Chris. And I would just go and trade on that page. I mean, that's what I would do. And I'd use Trendspider. I'd go and look at the 5-minute chart when the after hours, and I'd buy on confirmation and sell when it lost confirmation. And my goal was, to make $1,000 a day. And I did it. I mean, in a bull market, it's not. If you have a certain set of money that you don't have to pay rent with, that you just kind of want to trade on a daily basis, I don't think it's that tough in a bull market to actually do it. Now, in a bear market, that's tough. 2022 was, did we get them a blanket? Thank you. The bear market was tough, but in a bull market, wasn't tough. Let's see. Apple is down 1% today on a downgrade, I believe, or it's just, hey, it was up yesterday and it's pulling back. Morning, Chris, by the way. MicroStrategy is coming back down to 370. So you're still, if you bought it Friday on the 4-hour, you're still in the green. We can look at a bit of a nice little, hey, we're hanging on to the 200-day on the 5-minute right there. Using it as support. It'll be interesting to see if that can hold. I think it probably should. I mean, IBIT is down. Why is IBIT? Oh, that's why. I'm not in the. I'm core investments. That's what I want. IBIT is down 1.53%. So, Larry. And hit the thumbs up button. I pinned that comment up there so that people can hit the thumbs up button. And I've got a bit of a, I mean, I guess usually you can't see this microphone, but big show. Morning, Chase. I'm going to do some scans. I was just looking at FinViz to see, one of the things I want to see is, I got to bring that around here. I still love FinViz. There, MoffettNathanson downgrades with a 188 price target. 188 on Apple. If you get to 188, who's not buying Apple, like loading up, who's not selling their entire portfolio and loading up on Apple at 188? With the target price, the average target price still at 250. November, this Loop Capital brought it from 300 down to 275. I do think 325 from Webbush. I think that's a bit bullish, but would I be upset? I mean, MoffettNathanson just initiated coverage in August at 211, and you bring it down by 20% when the stock is up? Come on, douchebags. And let's see the insider. I mean, they're selling at 250. It makes sense you're selling at 250. I mean, I sold at 250. No, 257 is where I sold, 257. I will tell you what was interesting. So I thought it was, how do I say this? I thought it was interesting because I didn't do a quote unquote smart sale of Apple when I sold it, and it was thousands of shares. I just put it all on the board. And what was interesting was I put a limit price. I always put limit prices whether I'm buying or selling. It just makes me feel better. And to be honest, I don't trust that you're not getting filled. I just, unless it's like my Webull account and I'm trading and I just want to get the hell out of something, I'm putting a limit price in. When I put the limit price on those thousands shares, as I was entering the order, and this is what's interesting and manipulative. So I'm putting in the order, and I put in the share amount, and then Fidelity has a preview. And so I get to preview, and I'm like, ooh, I don't want to do that. And I went back and I did that. The share price literally on Apple from 257 dropped to 254 before I hit send. And I know for a fact they were looking at the exact amount that I was doing. You know, it was in a preview. And I'm sure it was sent to some clearinghouse, and there was some level 2 data or level 3 data where somebody said, oh, somebody's going to about to sell thousands of shares. So I did not appreciate it. Walmart, we have an entry on, and I need to get rid of FBCG in the core portfolio. I like it. It's done well. But I think there's other ones that are better. FBCG, I mean, it's done well. Let's see. What is Boxlight? Boxlight, let me see. In Duluth, Georgia, ooh, that's right around the corner. It's a technology company that designs, produces, and distributes interactive technology solutions primarily for the education sector. So valuation attractive with its price to growth at 0.3. Lower. However, other valuation metrics suggest the stock is overpriced. Growth metrics present a mixed view with earnings per share growth. Profitability faces challenges in profitability with net income margin. Stock's momentum is weak with 1 year performance, and yet yesterday it was up 265%. So year to date it's up 340%. Penny, I love you, but please, it's the morning. By the way, we got 20 thumbs up and 30 people in here, so I know people aren't hitting the thumbs up. I'd appreciate it if you did. I may have to go over and look at the dogs, but we're going to look at FBCG. And the reason I put this in the core portfolio is mainly you look at it, it's NVIDIA, it's Apple, it's Amazon, Microsoft, Alphabet. I mean, it's just a level of QQQ, but it's got 236 companies. So it's fairly out there. Now, the expenses, pretty big. I like it. It's Fidelity, 0.59%. It's not going to make you go poor. You can see over 1 year it does beat the S&P. I mean, it nearly doubles the S&P. 3 years, it doubles the S&P. 5 years, it almost doubles the S&P. So I do like this one. 10 years, you don't get it, but that's, it goes back to 2020. So again, I like the actual ETF. But is it expensive? Yeah. Morning, Mark. Oh, I gotta put in my thing too. Tomorrow is Steve Kress and the Seeking Alpha Top 2025 stocks. Be there if you're not square. We'll put in our link later. Futures are up. How the hell are the futures up? Let's see. QQQ, yeah. I mean, Apple's the one. Apple's going to kill my portfolio today. I mean, have I told you about Uber lately? Let me continue the scans. XLK, I mean, we got a lot of core investments. Let me do this. Do I want to include these? Yeah, we probably should. I'm going to on the DL. Can you see the name of the portfolio that I'm looking at? I'm not going to scan on that one. I'm not going to include it. Amazon IGM is an ETF that I have. Walmart CrowdStrike is one that I own. And QQQM is one that I own. I own QQQM as well. I mean, I own QQQ and QQQM. And there's no other reason other than, you know, hey, it's just Bitcoin and crypto. BITC, BITS, AETH, BTF, BTOP, BETE, ARKA, MSTX. This is interesting. It's down 5% today. So MSTX got the entry and then, this is the 2-time leveraged ETF on Bitcoin. Covered call ETFs. Oh, income ETFs, we call them. Because if you need income, these are ones that you could do. CHEPQ, QQQX, QDTE, QQQI, SPY-I, MAXJ, NUSI, XDTE, QQQY. Those are interesting. Wah, wah. Energy names. KOLD. With a crazy good move this morning at 4%. At some point, natural gas is going to go down. At some point. I mean, you can see this one has it's down 50% just since November, which means Boyle this went from 39 up to 60, 63. So it's not up, not quite up. I mean, that's November, looks like 36, and it gets to about 60. So it's not quite up double. But, I mean, you just got a golden cross, and it doesn't seem to want to really cross. That's an interesting one. Levered ETFs. Oh, boy. ETFs. UPRO. AMZU. SPXL. TQQQ. Might be time to buy some MSTX. ROM. QQQU. TCL, which is the Technology Center, SMSFU, Fungi, TRK, COM, COMB, Bulls, low cost Vanguard, let's see, VUG, low cost ETFs. VUG, QQQ, QQM, MGK, SPY, VOO, and VIG. The VIG. Spider sectors. Did any cross? XLK and XLG. XLG I like. I may buy some XLG. Because I do think now, even if the Mag 7 don't outperform, this one's the top 50. So maybe those other, 43 outperform. Look at that. That's a nice chart to buy into on an ETF. It's a super, super nice chart. Let's do the watch list. We're just going to have a bunch. GM, AIQ, Lulu, Lemonade, Granny, Tom Lee's ETF, Granny Shots, which, listen, I mean, doesn't seem like Tom Lee's stock picking is doing great, but Okta, CrowdStrike. We have Datadog, Aristonets got a cross there. So now let's look at index. We're going to go to the Dow. Amazon, Walmart, I already have. We're going to go to the NASDAQ 100. Datadog on semiconductors. GFS, Google and Lulu we already have. Let's go to the S&P 100. Walmart, GM, Google. Okay, we got everything. We will go back to the 4-hour algorithm and run. Boom, granny shots. Tesla, if Tesla gets under 400, start buying. I mean, I don't, I think Uber's taking back the full self-driving stuff, but it's CES is just such a good show. I mean, they do really put on a great. I wonder if Cleveland Cliffs. I mean, I still have Cleveland Cliffs in the core portfolio, and it's just because, it's not because it does have pumpability. But when you look at it and you look at these, like 2018, look at the 2018 high. You had this double top and you broke right through it. It wasn't even a support level right there at 1250. And I said, before we'll just pull, you know what? I'm going to remove all of these. Let me remove all horizontal lines. Because we're just going to put in, okay, prior to COVID, this is December 2019. Let's just go to February 2019. Okay, the high here was, we'll go back 793, February 3rd. Okay, 793. That's where I think Cleveland Cliffs is going to. Oh. Hold on one second. I'm not going to allow AI tracking. I'm not going to let you go see me get the dogs. Okay, what do you want? Okay, come here. Come on. Okay, there you go. We're going to get that one over here. Okay. Whew. The dogs are now in their blankets, and there's no more crying. Thank you, Brandon, by the way, if you're listening to this. Brandon sent me a nice gift card, and the girls will get a mani-pedi today from a PetSmart. He sent me a nice gift card. Okay. Let's talk about... JP Morgan favors brokers heading into 2025. That's from a social request about what are your thoughts on some stuff.
Okay, next is what.
This is Tori Trades about trend lines. She goes over A+ trend lines, what time frame she focuses on. I like that one. This is candlestick pattern that you should probably, and if you're not following me on Twitter, I don't know why. I put out, I retweet it. I don't put out a lot of original content, but I retweet a ton of stuff that's really good. Apple ticks up on Argus estimates. I'm going to talk my own book, but Moffett just screwed the pooch. Let me see. I think Meta has this story. I like this story because it shows that Zuckerberg is actually focusing on the new administration. Yeah, this one. I'm going to put this article in there because it just goes over how he's focused on okay, where is that? There we are. Okay, so we're going to open this one up and we're going to take this. Bum, bum, bum. I didn't put this in, but Buffett, I'm going to put it in 3 stocks. VeriSign, Series XM, and Oxy. He's buying a ton of stuff. Taiwan Semi is just seasonally a good one. We'll talk about Disney, the chart. And if you're investing in Tesla, you probably should be in Deere because full self-driving, I mean, they're doing it for farming. This is an interesting one. Here are the best performing stocks in the S&P so far this year. And this is broken down by 3 days, and it's all about AI infrastructure. Look at those. I mean, look at those. If you don't think that we're continuing on that, Citi says avoid these 25 stocks, but the Seeking Alpha quant rating says they might be pretty good. Seeking Alpha also had a what are the top AI stocks, a survey. I'll talk about Shai Bular yesterday. I had a good discussion with him on Spaces, and he gave me great advice. This is, I mean, just NVIDIA. I mean, we could all day go over NVIDIA's CES announcements. So, but we probably won't. This is a great example for anybody with Trendspider. I will go over this, but this is exactly how you use Trendspider, how I think you should use Trendspider. And there was I mean, if you didn't know it, there was a red beacon yesterday that could have absolutely destroyed the market. And it didn't. It didn't. So, but yeah, let's look at the Qs. We have an entry in the Qs. Morning, Bill Murray. The golden boy who steps up to the tee. Oh, and he got it all. He got it all. It's a great scene. I wonder how many times Bill Murray's actually sitting at a bar and somebody calls him Golden Boy. I think that's what his characters he referred to himself in Caddyshack as. I think it was all ad-lib too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and Tory Trades would say this is an F on a trend line, that green line. But she would not say this is a very good one. Okay. 30 thumbs up, 47 people in here. So since I last looked, it was like up like by 10. So, okay. If you are not aware, my name is Gary. I have a top podcast on Spotfiy, and this is where I record the podcast. So, let me make sure if Trendspider go on sale again or no. Yes, it did. Hoofa. So, what sale did they call it? Premium market research. I mean, it did go on sale, so. You know, WF, Shai and I have like DM'd and told him his stuff is fantastic. I mean, he knows. I do think he's got a great point of view. Am I ever going to know that much about the stocks that I invest in? No. So it's more about, he's got great elevator pitches and for a stock that I'm going to do, I know my elevator pitch, but do I know the inner workings of Palo Alto Networks versus CrowdStrike versus Sentinel versus Fortinet? Nope, not one bit. Do I know that CrowdStrike took the world down? Absolutely. That's one that I want to buy. Do I know that Palo Alto Networks is the largest cybersecurity company out there? Yep. I want to buy into that one. Everything else is window dressing to me. So, but he is, yeah, there are some great guys on those spaces. And then there are others who will go unknown, who just love the sound of their own voice. Sam was great yesterday, by the way. If you're not following Sam, Sam's solid. Let's go and look. I probably should put him up there. Sam, let's look him up. Let's just search Sam Solid. There he is. Sam was great. If you're not following Sam, follow Sam as well. In fact, I'm going to include him. I talk about Shay all the time, but Sam is 100% the real deal. Yeah, I personally, just FYI, I mean, those guys, this is nice, the stock twits, where they have the Daily Rip Live opening bell with stock and Jordan, Shay and Jordan. I think they're far less entertaining than me. But, you know, they're also in their 20s and 30s, so I may find myself, you know, it's funny because my girlfriend's son is Tokyo Sims. If you go to let's see, youtube.com Tokyo Sims. I think this is him. Let's see. Yeah. No, hold on. Let's look up Tokyo Sims. There it is. Tokyo Sims. That's him. So it's Tokyo Sims _YT. That's my girlfriend's son. And the effer has 106,000 subscribers here. He's got like millions on freaking TikTok. So go subscribe to Tokyo Sims. Here. We'll put the link up here so you guys, all 30 of you. All 30 of you, just go subscribe. But the point is, I can't watch this channel. I literally, I mean, it's just, for me, it's not my thing. It's not interesting to me. And I think you'd agree. Okay, you'd agree. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't her son, she wouldn't be watching it either. And part of that is just making sure he's not embarrassing himself. Yeah, and WF, I have yelled at Wolf about that. I have, and Wolf did a great thing for me the other day, and you know, shout out to Wolf, man. If you're not following Wolf, Gavin is just great, and this is funny. So I went on there, just spouted off my thing, and usually I tell him, I just leave after that. I don't stick around and listen to 20 minutes of, you know, a boner pill ad for hymns and how you've got to invest in hymns. So Gavin said, hey, you know, and said on this space, and I guess there were like 1,000 people in there. And he said, if you're not listening to Gary and you're kind of pointing out that he doesn't know what he's talking about, he's got a very large portfolio. I think he said 8 figures. I don't have. Do I have 8, 6? Maybe. No. Gary Math can't count figures. I can't count figures. But he said that. I think he may have overstated it. No, but 7 figures. What did I get? I got what was it? I sent you a screenshot. I said 45 people just immediately followed me just after he said that. It was douchey. I mean, I wasn't flexing. I just said, if you don't have that portfolio, you're just poor. You're just poor. And so immediately, like 45 people followed me. It was great. And yes, Troy, exactly. Exactly my point. Morning, Eli. Eli, I still got your GLP-1 email to read. It's not that I'm ignoring it. It's just, I know Eli speak. Just like everybody knows Gary speak, I know Eli speak, and I know I got to be in the right mood to read that thing. But welcome back to the U.S. If you guys didn't know, Eli's daughter is on the U.S. ski team, and they're training over in Italy. So Eli was over there with them. But yes, to Troy's point, I was on there yesterday, and I think I was the only one who had lived through the .com drawdown.
You're ancient.
Yeah, I'm ancient. So it's not that I have anything that anybody else doesn't know, because you can just look at the charts and understand it. But I also lived through that time, and even the 2008 drawdown. My lead story is just common sense. They talk about common sense investing. Common sense was, hey, Apple's at an all-time high in December, and they're going to rebalance portfolios. Makes sense that you could buy it back. So in any tax-advantaged situation, maybe dump Apple. Get rid of a large chunk and then just buy it back 10% lower. Common sense. Common sense said, NVIDIA, he's the keynote effing speaker. And the valuation is not extended. Makes sense. Just go buy NVIDIA. And that was my thing, is that you don't need to do a ton of research. You don't need, there are certain time periods and certain stocks and certain opportunities that you can just go and get. And the risk is limited, because what if you sold Apple at 260 and then it takes off to 280 and you buy it back at 280? Long term, I don't think it's a problem. What if, NVIDIA, all of a sudden they didn't have an announcement and it tanks down to 120 or 100? What's the problem? You just hold. The valuation is there. So the risk reward for common sense like that, sometimes it just makes sense. And do you want to do it with your entire portfolio? No. You're crazy. You crazy girl. But it just makes sense. So Yeah, exactly, Troy. And full disclosure, I will lose you more money in a correction because I'm a permeable. There is no doubt in my mind I will not be positive in a downturn. There will be portfolios that will be positive in a downturn. But you know what? Let's look at a long-term chart, because if you're positioning for a downturn, when did you do it? Because I haven't seen, did you do it in 2021? Did you time the market well? This was a time where you're buying, you're not necessarily, and then it felt great in June when you bought it 293 and you pumped up to 329. It didn't feel good when you bought it 329 and you were down at 266 a couple months later. But the reality was, when you hold on to something like that, it turns into positive. So if you buy good companies with good products, with good management and good earnings, you should be fine. So, okay, I'm going to put you on the countdown real quick. I will be right back. I promise.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Let's see. I do need to put on my AI tracking because that will track me when I wiggle my butt around. Okay. I'm going to hit record now. We'll record the podcast. Just so you know, if you have any questions, you can ask them in the chat. I will get back to them after the end of the recording. Usually takes me about 30, 40 minutes to get through the recording of the podcast. So if you're here for the first time, buckle up, Buttercup. Yeah, WF. I mean, that's sometimes, and it's kind of like the filter. The filter I always use for, and I'm stubborn and probably not the most accepting of others' opinions when it comes to the stocks that I'm invested in. And sometimes that gets me in trouble. Sometimes it doesn't, blah, blah, blah. But it's kind of like when my friends who are nervous about their portfolio going down, I tell them, don't look at your portfolio. If you're going to get influenced by social media and some of the day traders, don't listen. That's a big rule on Wall Street is they don't listen to CNBC. They don't watch the news. They don't look at that stuff. They simply look at what they want to look at. So, Nathaniel, tariffs will kill the market. Tariffs will, I mean, listen, the fact is Trump is a Wall Street, a stock market president. I mean, not only does he want to be known as the Bitcoin president, he is dying. He is dying to oust Obama from the top stock market. He won't do it. You ain't going to get Obama had like a 400% over his first term. You had the housing crisis, and then, the stock market came roaring back during Obama's years. That was the first time that the U.S. actually overspent. So, but yeah, okay. Let's go back to the 4 hour. Let's go back here. I'm going to hit record. Good morning. It is Tuesday, January 7th. Just so you are aware, tomorrow is the Top Stocks of 2025 event with Seeking Alpha and Steve Kress. If you are new here, it is a top event. And why is it a top event? Well, the top stocks for 2023 and 2024 have each returned over 140%, outperforming the market. If you've got stocks that are reaching 140%, again, you don't have to tune in. If you don't, tune in. I'll provide a link in the description so you can sign up for this event. It is tomorrow between noon and 3 Eastern time. There is a lot covered. I will be buying these stocks. You can read about the power of quantitative analysis, the top investing group leaders. They will all be going over things, and Steve Kress will, of course, headline the event. Rena, who I did an interview with on Seeking Alpha, I think she's going to be leading it off. But there's a lot of things going on tomorrow. Make sure you're there. Again, it's between 12 and 3. They will have a replay, but make sure you're tuned in and you get these top stocks of 2025. If I had one thing to guide you on, sure, I tell you about AlphaPix. AlphaPix is a data-driven portfolio that provides a great return, 169% versus the S&P having 56%. And you can sign up for AlphaPix. You can sign up for Seeking Alpha Premium and get $30 off in a free 7-day trial. Use your free 7-day trial to go to the event tomorrow. I think you can. Again, if you want to try it, you just go to Linktree, linktr.ee/daily stock pick, okay? All the links are here. You can get the bundle offer. What I would steer you towards is getting premium and alpha picks. You save $159. But this event is something not to be missed, because what you do is you just simply go and buy these stocks. Okay, say you've got a $100,000 portfolio. Go and buy $5,000 of these stocks. I mean, it makes sense. Maybe they become, $12,000. by the end of next year. Maybe that happens. Maybe. And the possibility, because of the the best predictor of the future is past performance. So that's what you want to do. Now, let's talk about the markets. The triple Qs, we have an entry in the 4-hour algorithm. If you don't know what the 4-hour algorithm is, it's in Trendspider, okay? It is Trendspider, and they are having a sale, okay? Save. You save up to 63%. Now there's 3 tiers here, okay? The standard, stay away from it. For $10 more per month, enhanced is what you want. Why? Because you get a free one-on-one training session and you get the AI strategy lab. If you don't know what these are, just Google it or go to the link in the link tree. It's the top link right here. Save up to 50% on Trendspider and get my algorithms, watch lists, and scanners. You get everything. I would steer you towards the advanced, and we're going to keep this short because the advanced comes, again, for $30 more per month. You get the advanced tier, okay? And it comes with unlimited one-on-one training. You're seeing it right there. Unlimited one-on-one training at the bottom and the AI strategy lab. The unlimited one-on-one training means if you take 1 course per month, you're paying about $30 for the course, okay? Even 82, say you take 2 courses, you're paying $41 per course per month. And you're getting unlimited. We will go over how to use that, how you get an internet strategy, and then you set it up in Trendspider. I have the 4-hour algorithm. The 4-hour algorithm performs exceptionally well. Now, buy and hold on Qs makes you more money over the last 2 years when you backtest it, 24.7 months. You backtest it. If you use my strategy, it's 18 positions. So 18 different times you've traded over the past 2 years. And over those 18 times, you win 61% of the time. It's better than freaking blackjack. You make 81% over the last 2 years. That's fantastic. Okay, if you buy and hold, you're up 100%. So what I use the 4-hour algorithm for on this particular ETF is I buy more. And today we got an entry at 525. I'm going to buy more. Again, I'm going to buy more. What happened yesterday was interesting. Okay, this is an article. Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook had warned the financial markets may be at risk of significant correction given the current stretched valuations. And she had a speech yesterday. This reminded a lot of people of 1996, where Alan Greenspan warned of irrational exuberance in the stock market during the dot-com bubble. The market sold off when he said that. Okay, we can go and we can look at SPY. I think SPY was around in 2000. We will go and look at a monthly chart so we can go see that. This was 1996. Where's 1996? Right here. June of 1996 right there. That's a 4% swing in SPY, which those days was enormous. We've had bigger days since. Didn't take the market down, but by 2000, you saw everything come down. So Cooks could have taken the market down. It didn't. The market wound up yesterday. So maybe we're in this 4-year stretch. Okay, 1998, the market came down from July down to December. It kept going. And then you had this big downturn. Maybe we're in that. But I would argue that just from a PE standpoint, we're stretched. But we're making money. And the difference between now and 1996, if you didn't trade during that time, is that those companies, they would put out, hey, if pets.com came out and they said, we just reserved the pets.com address. The company was up 400% just on that announcement. And they didn't make any earnings. It wasn't a company. They had 2 employees, but they got a URL. And so it was crazy back then, just nuts. So I was shocked that we didn't see a pullback yesterday. But what this tells me is no matter what the information is, the market wants to go up. So we are in a bull market until we're not. You could take NVIDIA. We're going to talk about NVIDIA because that's a common sense approach. But NVIDIA yesterday, it went up. It's actually cheaper to buy it today than it was 2 years ago from a PE perspective. But when you look at price to sales, it's not. So it depends on which perspective you're looking at. But I don't think we're overstretched. I just think earnings are starting to catch up and we're just at the beginning of the AI revolution. And I think that's where I'm positioning my portfolio. Again, Your reaction may be different. But let's talk about how you use Trendspider, because I just said it, okay? Yesterday, Trendspider put this out. There was a video here from not Mr. Manziel, and he said, Charlie Munger said you can outperform the S&P long-term by using this strategy. And the strategy is it enters SPY when price touches and closes above the 200-week SMA. Exits when the price is at least 25% above the 200-week SMA. You can set this up in Trendspider. Okay? It's super, super simple. And then back test it. Look at that. It enters with the 200-day, that yellow line, and then up 29%. It got you out, gets you back in at the bottom there. Okay? Under the 200 SMA as the trend starts to change. And then it gets you out right there. You know, now you've missed this entire run up, but that's a 29%, 45%. Would I suggest this as your main portfolio strategy? No. But if you want to play some safety, it makes sense. Again, it makes sense. That's how you can use Trendspider. That's how I would suggest you use Trendspider, is find a strategy from one of the greats, Charlie Munger, and just put it into Trendspider. And then you can use it as your safety, because you know that strategy works as long as you backtest it. That's how you use Trendspider. So homework, go out there and find a strategy. Go to YouTube. Find a MACD strategy. Find an RSI strategy. Find these guys who say that it works. And then build it in Trendspider. It's that simple. Super, super simple. As if investing is hard. I mean, let's talk about this. I was on Spaces yesterday, and I highlighted common sense approach to actually investing and trading. Okay, first common sense approach was Apple. The Apple strategy of, hey, we're at all-time highs in December. You know, does it make sense? Well, there wasn't really anything other than it just got exuberant. And so the algorithm got you out. But I sold here at like December 26th where we were up at 257. I think we got to 260. I sold at 257. Was I upset? Yeah, for the next couple of days, it was hovering around 260. And I sold thousands of shares. So it's thousands of dollars that I left on the table. I was upset. But the strategy was common sense. It was, hey, it's December. And this is the stock that's up 30%. It's the number one holding in every ETF, probably a number one holding in most portfolios, because it's of market-weighted portfolios. So you knew January was going to come, and every freaking money manager was going to have to rebalance the customer's portfolio because this was up 30%. It became too large a position in the portfolio. So this common sense was, hey, I'm going to sell this at 257 and then buy back in the new year when it's lower. And yes, what's the danger? So let's go through the danger, the risk. The risk is that you sell Apple at 257 and it goes in January to 280 and you have to buy back at a higher price. Is that a danger? No. No. You know, you don't get out of Apple completely, but you sell 20, 30, 40, 50%, whatever you want to sell. And then you buy back later. It worked out. It's just risk reward. The danger of buying Apple back at a higher price is not an actual danger. As long as it's in a tax advantaged account, you could do it. Would I suggest you do it in a brokerage account? Probably not. Don't create tax events. That's why they're doing it in January, is they're trying to make sure that they don't get a 2024 tax event. They get a 2025 tax event, because then they can take those profits and invest them throughout the year and earn the money that they're going to pay in taxes. That's the strategy. What's a second common strategy approach? It's NVIDIA. Okay? NVIDIA, we knew Jensen Huang was going to be the keynote speaker at CES. Do you think he was going to do that if there wasn't like extreme demand for these chips? If his company was lagging behind AMD? Do you think he was going to show up at CES if he didn't have some big news? And yes, we'll go over some of that big news. But the risk was minimal, because what's the danger? You buy NVIDIA at 130 like I did. The danger is it pulls back to 120. Maybe it pulls back to 115. What's the danger? Long term, this is a company with good products, with good management, with good everything. Okay. And it's not super expensive. And it just became the most valuable company in the world again. NVIDIA, Microsoft, and Apple are just competing it out there. So again, the risk versus reward, you have to do that. The risk it seemed minimal to me, but it's common sense investing like that. Common sense. Again, sometimes these things present themselves. Are they 50% movers? No. But to me, it's common sense. Maybe it doesn't make sense to you, but it does to me. The risk to me was minimal. Now, let's talk, one of the strategies that I have is MicroStrategy on the 4-hour algorithm. We talk about this one all the time. The back-tested results, 2,309% if you take these 23 positions over the last 24 months. I'm perfectly fine making that. Even though buying and holding over the last 24 months makes you 2,514%, I want the safety of the 4-hour algorithm. Got you in at 339. Now you're at 368. We went up to like 380 yesterday, I think. Let's see, 383. So you made a pretty good, if you bought at 339 on Friday, you could have sold it yesterday, traded on the 4-hour algorithm. That's what I say. Again, find a strategy that works. NVIDIA's CE announcements will further its enormous technology lead from Webbush. Okay? I don't know if Dan Ives has a price target in here. I don't know. The guy's price target on this one is just crazy. But NVIDIA, Wall Street's average price target is 172. That's a 15% upside. We're trading in pre-market at 153. Okay, I bought a bunch at 130. It just made sense, common sense. Dan Ives agreed with me. Now, some of these stocks, if you can find them, it's maybe a YOLO kind of thing. But if you can find them, Aurora soars 50% yesterday after unveiling a large-scale driverless truck partnership with NVIDIA. CES will do this to a stock that doesn't have any earnings, anything of that sort. Aurora is one of them. If you can find these, some of these events, YOLO events, are great. But for me, I have a more solid strategy where I want NVIDIA. I don't want Aurora. Now, will Aurora come into my play? SoundHound is a great example. SoundHound, they actually have customers. NVIDIA invested in them. I like SoundHound for the long term. I think it's a good one. Now, what's another one? Uber. Everybody gave up on Uber. Uber and NVIDIA collaborate for autonomous mobility. It's going to be big. Uber's up another 2%. And we talked about Uber on the chart. This is how you use the tools. Okay, Uber on the chart, this was right at 61. How did I get 61? Go back to the weekly chart and look at the 2021 highs. Okay, look at where it pulled back even here in August with the Japan unwind trade. The low was 54. Now, is this one going back to 80? I think at some point in time, it's a $100 stock. But Uber announced that they're on their way. They announced, what did they announce? Monday? They announced that that they were buying back a ton of stock. Today's Tuesday. I think, Monday morning they announced a ton of buybacks. And then yesterday they announced a mobility collaborative with NVIDIA. Again, a company, a good company. Don't give up on Dara. This isn't a winner take all where Tesla all of a sudden has everything in the autonomous driving and way more wins. So I like Uber. I do. Now, I asked Shay yesterday, Shai Boulor, and Sam piped in too. Sam's great. If you want to follow Sam, he is fantastic. But I asked Shai on Spaces yesterday, we were talking about those common sense approaches, and he was talking about NVIDIA and AI and his hypothesis on all of this. And I said, what would you invest in if you what's the number one energy trade for AI? And he said, no brainer, CCJ, Cameco. Okay? It came, there was not even a thought, a second thought in his mind. He said, it's Cameco. So if you want, and for me, a guy who's as knowledgeable as Shay, I will go out and I will research Cameco. And then I'll decide if I want to buy it. And then Sam piped up, and Sam Solid, who is great. He is fantastic. He piped up, he said, hey, CCJ is the number one, but don't miss CEG, Constellation Energy, Oklo, And the uranium ETF, I think it's UEA. Let me just make sure that's the one. UAE, iShares. No, I'll find the uranium ETF. But he brought it up. And the uranium ETF is one that you may want to invest in. So, and Sam's great. Go follow him. Now, what's the sentiment around the best AI stock from Seeking Alpha readers? These aren't analysts. These are just readers that responded. It's Palantir. And Palantir is incredibly expensive. Palantir is in the core portfolio. It has been since 2023. So it's been one of those big winners in the core portfolio. But would I be buying it? Look at that red line right there. What does that red line represent? Well, if you look at a 4-hour right here, and you just look at, I guess it's anchored back a little while. Is this a monthly? Let's see. I don't think it's a monthly. We're going to look at weekly. No, I guess it might be a daily. There we go. The daily. So if you look at the daily, you can see that red line. Hold on one second. Daisy, no, I love you, but no, I'm not getting up. I yell at them because I can. That red line, look at where it touches. Look at the tips right there, okay? That red line looks like it is just resistance. It's right up there. And look at the green line. That might be where the support is. This one may come down probably to like 47. It may come down there. I don't know. Am I buying this one for long term? At this point, I'm waiting for the weekly to actually show some weakness. That's a daily chart where we saw those trend lines, and I'm looking at that. Okay? I like the 4-hour algorithm. It makes 376%, but buying and holding makes 1,154%. I do think this is a buy and hold company, but I don't want to go in with Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, out there with Palantir's income coming from mainly governments. I don't want to go heavy into this one at this again, common sense. There are other ones that they pick. AVGO, Broadcom, which is one. We talked about that one. That is the NVIDIA of custom chips. So as Google, as Apple, as Meta goes out there and develops their own chips, that's AVGO, that's Broadcom. Microsoft is a good play, they feel. It's a little bit expensive. And you know, but they own AI. They own OpenAI. You know, when Sam Altman left, Satya Nadella said, we don't need them. We have the code. We have the special sauce for OpenAI. We don't need them. So it's Microsoft. And I do think that Microsoft will make it work. AMD and Google and SoundHound. We talked about SoundHound. I like SoundHound. That one is one that just hasn't earned earnings yet, but it will. And I like the strategy on that one. So don't miss out on that one. On a side note, by the way, Kramer loves Palantir now, and he's been pounding the table to buy it. I don't know. I mean, that scares the hell out of me. That guy's pounding the table when at $8 he was saying it's just junk. It's just retail pumping this up. Ignore it. It's actually got a business. So this is how you use Seeking Alpha, by the way. Citi says avoid these stocks in 2025. The Seeking Alpha quant rating says not so fast. The quant rating is a good, again, if you read the quant, if you read the story on the quant, just Google Seeking Alpha quant, and you can see how it outperforms buy and hold. And so these guys, Citi, says these 25 stocks, Seeking Alpha quant says Asana, it's high. Match Group, it's high. It's a buy. Molson Coors, it's a buy. Frontier Group Holdings, it's a buy. You know, Zoom Info, it's a hold. Here are the hold ratings. But there's 4 right there that might be better, you know, you might be good buying into. So that's how you use the quant rating. You can go over here to the top stocks and just look at the top stocks. LX, KIN, PSIX is one that we've looked at quite a bit. Okay, look at that chart. 1 year, you're up 1,482%. This has been a strong buy in the quant for a very long time. It is a small cap stock. The market cap is $20 million. So it's not a super high one. Now, Wall Street, there's one freaking analyst that covers this, so ignore that. Ignore that. But could you make money on this one? Absolutely. PSIX, we can look at it in the 4-hour algorithm. You can go and find a strategy that works on this one. PSIX right now in the 4-hour algorithm. Oh, come on. Oh, it doesn't work because, yeah, let's see about the 65-minute. They're the 65-minute. It has some data issues because they switched over to NASDAQ. And that's the issue on PSIX. But you can find a strategy that trades it. Just find a strategy that trades it. You know, like Tesla. Tesla's a great example of the 4-hour algorithm. The 4-hour algorithm got you out with a 60% gain right here. At around, it looks like about 420. And you're trading at 407. If this one gets under 400 and the algorithm says to buy, I will buy. Why? Because the algorithm makes you 391% versus a buy and hold strategy over the last 2 years of 262%. You win 52% of the time. And this is a stock that I believe gets pumped up. So that's how you use Seeking Alpha and how you use Trendspider to try and find those things. So year-to-date winners, we're only three days into 2025. It's been about AI. Look at this. AAPL, which is AI power. SMR, AI power. NNE, AI power. SMCI is up 18%, even though you can't find a damn auditor that will sign off on them. I'm still not touching it, but if you want to trade it, go at it. VST, which is power. VRT, which is data. I'm in VRT. That's up 16%. Constellation Energy, like Sam said. Iris Energy, TSMC, Credo, NVIDIA, GE Vernova. All of these are on the watch list in Trendspider. So they're all really, really good. Now, here's the best performing stocks in the S&P so far. Chips, NVIDIA, Micron, WDC, KLAC, Lam Research, AIM Applied Materials, Energy, VST, Constellation, GE Vernova, First Solar, Energy, Data Centers, SMCI and Dell, Robots, TER. Okay? Those are the top performers. If it's not clear that the top performers are AI and it's power, you're just not reading the tea leaves. Okay? And if you're into full self-driving, Deere introduces automatic machines for orchards, quarries, and lawns. This was a great video. And Deere stock, it hasn't gone parabolic like Tesla has. I mean, Tesla had that enormous gain. But Deere, it's lagging. Deere is a good quality industrial stock. Okay? We're going to remove all that. And you can see right here that 413. Where is that coming from? Well, look at the old resistance. And then it popped on its earnings and it's pulled back. Okay, you got a gap down here to 405. I wouldn't be surprised if we go back to 400. But for long term, this one makes sense. Again, look at that trading range that we're in. Is that getting ready to pop? Let's look at Deere in Seeking Alpha just to see what the quant rating says about this one. You can read the virtual analyst report. You can go all this. The quant says it's a hold and it's based on valuation. Now, 1 year it's up 5%. So it has underperformed the market. But again, that full self-driving stuff makes sense. It does. It was interesting to me. I liked it. One that's interesting to me that's in the core portfolio, and this one popped yesterday. It didn't really pop yesterday, but it had news with Fubo, and Fubo was up like 250%. I think that was the number one stock. But when you take a look at this one, look at this. Okay, this is Disney. Now, when you take a look at this and you look at that $120 point, that has been a couple of times you've popped up there. Okay, this was right here back to this point. You can see back here in 2018, you popped to that 120 and then you took off and then you pulled back to, COVID lows and then you popped up to 120. So 120 is a key point because once in 2022, twice in 2024, you've pulled up to about that 120 and you're sitting there at 113. What was the high right here? 118. So that 120 is a resistance level, and you can clearly see the trend line, that red trend line coming down. That may provide support if we go down, but they have earnings coming up in February. I liked yesterday's announcement specifically for Disney. Now, long term, this is a company that was broken, and it's sitting right at that 200-day. The 50 days but this is an iconic American company. Do you think anybody that has kids is not looking at going to Disney? And do you think that Disney can't charge a premium at the parks and they're about to launch their ESPN standalone product? Who's not going to be paying for ESPN? They're not going to be making as much money as they were from the cable companies over the past few years because the cable companies had those built into their bottom tier. But ESPN will see a resurgence. And what do you have on the weekly? On the weekly right here? Well, this is a monthly. Let's look at a weekly. What do you have on the weekly? It just hasn't popped. The RSI, came up there at 63. I don't think that you buy it right now, but I do think if you pull back towards 100, I think it's a good bet because again, 100 to 120 is a very, very good move. And you could buy at 100, and I guarantee you at some point it's going to get to 120. It's common sense kind of investing. I just think that. Now, another common sense investing, seasonality. Taiwan Semi's looking at its strongest month. Historically, the best month with an average return of 6.7% and an 80% win rate. If NVIDIA is going to break out, guess what? Guess where all their chips are made? It's at Taiwan Semi. So you're going to see those move. Okay? Warren Buffett is spending his money. There are 3 stocks, and I'll include this picture in the newsletter. Warren Buffett is putting his $325 billion cash to work. Just bought $89 billion worth of VRSN. We can look at that chart. VRSN is VeriSign, I think. Yeah, VeriSign. This is a payment processor, I believe. I don't know too much about it, but the stock is pumped. The stock is pumped since November. He's been buying a bunch of it. So he may be the sole reason that this one's actually moved up past its 200-day, and the 50-day may be starting to move positive. Okay, he's doing that one. He's also buying Sirius XM, which I have no idea why he's buying, but he believes in this stock. Again, Spotify has just been a far, far better investment. You can look at the weekly on this one. This one's fallen off a cliff. Maybe he's trying to buy the bottom. He's bought $256 billion worth, or I'm sorry, $1 million worth. And VeriSign is $89 million worth. Now, his largest investment over the last couple of months, Occidental Petroleum. And we talked about this one. I pulled this one out of the core portfolio because it just hasn't done well. And what did I do? I put Berkshire in. Now, was that a mistake? I don't know. I don't think that this one looks a little overvalued to me. If you look at Oxy in the quant here in Seeking Alpha, we'll pull that one up. But let's look at the chart first. You can see the 200-day on the 4-hour, it's negative. The 50-day on the 4-hour, it's negative. But the 9 and the 21 have suddenly turned around. And from 47 to 50, for an oil company, that's not a bad move whatsoever. Oh, let's refresh this one. It's still having problems on Safari. I think when the pop-ups are done with the event from today, it should start to change up here. But, oh, come on. Okay, there we go. So Oxy is a hold in the quant. Oxy's a hold in the quant. The valuation is a D plus. And it's just, it's a high PE. From an integrated oil and gas perspective, it's number 13 out of 17. So for me, I'm not following Warren Buffett into his trades, but I am buying Berkshire Hathaway. So you see how that one's performing. You go and look at Berkshire Hathaway, BRK.B. And you can see it's just traded sideways. Now that 484 is the absolute high. You're probably going to beat that one. When you go and look at a weekly chart on this one, you're just seeing it trade a little sideways. Hasn't even come back down to a support level of 424. It might if we're extended. But I like this one. Now, one that you shouldn't sleep on is Meta. Okay? Mark Zuckerberg named key MMA figure Dana White. Guess who Dana White supports? It's Trump. Is Zuckerberg going to be Trump's best friend? Probably not. But he will put one of his friends on the board of directors. And what did he announce today? He's going to do the community notes model for all of his checks. Meta is one that if you can get it under 600, get it under 600. It's just another one that's common sense. Is anybody that you know not on Facebook? Are they not using Instagram? Are they not using WhatsApp? If you travel internationally and you're not using WhatsApp, you're crazy. I mean, WhatsApp is, everybody that travels internationally is using WhatsApp. Guess what that is? That's Meta. And guess what they're monetizing? They're monetizing all of your data. So I like this one. I like this one a lot. And Amit here on, he puts it into perspective. Dana White is cool. He's one of those guys that the people just like. Zuck was training in, in MMA. So he knows Dana. He's been at the MMA stuff. Elon has Trump's phone number on speed dial. Zuckerberg, no matter how many millions of dollars he donates, will never be on Trump's good side. He will never be on Trump's good side, but he can buy into that realm. And that's what he's doing. So again, good management, good management. Now, Apple, I was looking at that before because if you pull up Apple on FinViz, you can see that there was just today, MoffettNathanson downgraded them from a neutral to a sell with a $188 price target. Okay. This is coming after Bernstein just 2 days ago, announced 3 days ago, announced that they put it in, they reiterated their outperform rating and they marked it up to 260. Again, what was the price in December? It was 260. That's not a huge stretch. Wedbush in December moved their price target from 300 to 325. The average price target is 250. Okay, we can go and look at this one and you've got to determine, okay, which side do you want? Is it Team Apple or is it Team PE that it's too expensive? For me, I'm on Team Apple. This is 50%, so I'm talking my own book. But again, if it gets to 180, name somebody who's not pouring in, backing up the Brinks truck. And then you've got Apple ticks up as Argus up estimate on positive signs for iPhone says. Foxconn with their quarter. They killed it on their quarter. Guess what they make? The iPhone. So in my mind, I think Apple has done a great job of manipulating the stock price and pushing it up. I just think that Apple is not one that you give up on. It was down 1% before. It's now even. The market just opened up and it's even. So let's talk about some education. Candlestick patterns, bullish engulfing, bullish Haramani, 3 white soldiers, tweezer bottoms. You can read all about this. Understand your charts, understand your candlesticks. Do you need to memorize these? Hell no. I am more of a trend guy. And so I like what Tori Trades does. What time frame do you focus on? And she goes in this video, go and watch it. She goes over that she looks at a weekly. She finds a weekly trend and you can see what's the Apple weekly trend? It's up. Then she goes to a daily and she says, okay, what's the current trend of Apple? It's up. Short-term trend, it's down. So let's go look at a 4-hour. Boom, my 4-hour algorithm has you out. She probably wouldn't be trading this one because the short term is right there. She probably wants to look at that. If you can find a stock where the weekly, the daily, and the 4-hour are trending up and you can put in a good trend line, that's probably a good trade. Again, a strategy. Find a strategy that works. Find a time frame that works. It's just that simple. Logic sometimes works out like the Apple and the NVIDIA trade, but if you can use charts and you can use your tools to try and find other things, that works as well. Now, Rob, he wrote to me on Spotfiy. You can drop a comment on Spotfiy and I'll respond to you. He said he appreciates the ad-free. Just FYI, if you are a premium Spotfiy, the podcast now comes without commercials. So, hey, high five. I'm happy to do it. I'm making less money. I don't know exactly how much because Spotfiy asked me to do it as a favor. I said, yeah, we'll do it. What the hell? If you're on Apple, Apple hasn't approached me because Apple is only about, I think 20% of my listens come from Apple podcasts. But remember, Spotify is a video podcast. YouTube is a video. And YouTube, even if you're a premium subscriber on there, they didn't ask me. That's just their standard. Spotify came to me and said, hey, we want to put, is it okay? And Spotify gave me the option. YouTube doesn't give me the option, but if you're a premium YouTube subscriber, you get it commercial free as well. So Rob, you're very welcome. What's your thoughts about seeking some safety in financial stocks like WFC or even better? Morgan Stanley. So I own Wells Fargo. And if you're an OG, you know, during the 2023, I believe, I mean, let's go back here. It was $40. I think it was right here. Yeah. When it dipped under the 200 day, there were times where you got down under $40. And I said, just buy this one under $40. It didn't make sense that the book value, I mean, this was a company that was doing pretty pretty well. And it just didn't make sense. Now, is it safety? I don't know. I mean, this is a weekly chart. Is that safe to buy at 72, all-time high? I mean, you know, you got your positive 50 day. Have these gone on a run? I wouldn't necessarily call this one a safety. I would say that financials probably are pretty good, a pretty good bet for 2025. You know, regulations coming out of there, but I wouldn't necessarily call this one a safety. It's a strong buy in the quant, so I like it. I personally own this one. Have I added to it recently? No. Wall Street's price target on this one. Let me look at FinViz to see when the last time somebody came out. Time frame October, $65, and the target price 78. You're trading at 73. So I can't imagine that it's quote unquote safety. Now let's look at Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley is a different story because I think this one's been hovering around 100 or so, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll take a look at this. Let's see, Morgan Stanley. There's Morgan Stanley. And I think on the weekly chart, I put that one. I think that was coming up with a weekly chart. Yeah, that 109, you're trading at 126. So I don't know that there's quote unquote safety in a lot of these, but I would say the number one thing I know about banks is, like, specifically with Morgan Stanley, if you go over here to FinViz, and you can find this in Seeking Alpha as well, but there's a book value, book per share, 58.25, and you're trading at 128. You're 2 times book value. And so that typically is a bit stretched for financials. You want to find something that's around book value. And so I would say this book value of 101 for Citigroup, and it's trading at 73, that might be your safest bet. But again, it all comes with risk. The average target price for Citigroup is 86. I don't know that I consider Wells Fargo and Morgan Stanley as safety, because Morgan Stanley's target price is 131 and you're trading at 128. So the upside there might be a little bit stretched. You can see 5% up. I don't know that it's necessarily safety, Rob, but I do think that financials are a good play. Now you can go and look at XLF, because XLF, this is just a financial ETF, and it's the one that I've bought into. I love these spider sector ETFs because they seem to perform. They're just this basket of the S&P 500 financials, and I like it. I mean, you know, the algorithm got you in at 48. Now the algorithm makes you 35%. You only make 43% if you bought and held. So I would say, if you're looking for safety, I would say XLF is your safety. And I think XLF, if I look at the holdings of XLF, let's look at the holdings, because Berkshire Hathaway is the number one, JP Morgan, Visa, MasterCard, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs. That's where I think you're probably best off if you're going for safety. Single stocks are not safety. So single stocks are trying to make sure that you're betting on high class. And JP Morgan's been the leader in this one. I don't know what the best bank was, but JP Morgan favors brokers. And so maybe the safety is brokers like Robinhood, like LPL Financial. Raymond James, they downgraded. Federated Hermes, they downgrade. Bridge Investment, they downgraded. So you can go and look at these ones. You know, again, this article is pretty good, but for safety, I'd probably stick to XLF, to be honest with you. So let's talk about some scans. Walmart. If we just go and look at some of these, FBCG, we look at Walmart. FBCG did get a cross up here. I don't know why Trendspider is a little slow on this one, but maybe because I'm crossing between oh, come on. What are you doing to me? Run it again. There we go. 92 for Walmart entry. VOO. We have an entry in the S&P 500, 549, trading at 548. So FBCG, we just went over this one. This is large cap. This is a blue chip, Fidelity's blue chip. And we have an entry here at 48. This one in the 4-hour algorithm, it makes you 113%. Would I suggest it? No. I'd look for an entry. You win 63% of the time, but it's more just buy and hold. This is an ETF that you know, it's in the core portfolio. It outperforms the S&P. Do I love it? Nah. I mean, do I like it? Yeah. Do I hold it? Yeah. I've got it in a portfolio, I think. Roblox at 61. Remember, I was telling people to buy this one under 40 all the time. You've doubled your money since May. You know, this one was in a trading range. Again, a serious trading range that it's broken out of. You can see, and by the way, just in case you're not aware of these trends, like these trading ranges, typically a good company will break out. And look at Snowflake. That's an opportunity. Now on the 4-hour algorithm, do you want to trade on Snowflake? I don't think so. But if you want to trade on that weekly, 165 is not a bad entry to get because I think you go back to 200. So are you going to lose money? You may come back down here to 118. You very well may. It's very expensive. You know, two of the, we just talked about XLF, two of the spider sectors that got cross ups, like see XLK, which is in the core portfolio. This is the technology one. XLK, 239, buy-in. Are we going for another run on the weekly? It's a bit stretched, not overly stretched, but it's a bit stretched. One that I love, because I always say big gets bigger, is XLG. XLG is the top 50. So instead of buying the S&P 500, let's just buy the top 50. And XLG gets you in at 51. This one makes 74% over the last 24 months. If you bought and held, you made 87%. I'm just looking for an entry because you win 73% of the time on this one in the 4-hour algorithm. Again, if you want the 4-hour algorithm, Trendspider is on sale. It's on sale up to 63% off. Okay? Get one of these. If you get any level of service, any level here, you'll get my 4-hour algorithm. As long as you pay for the year, you'll get my 4-hour algorithm. Yeah. So Trendspider is on sale. Remember, sign up for tomorrow's premium, the top 2025 picks. If you have any questions, hit me up. I will talk to you tomorrow. Okay, see you. Bye. Okay. I had to stop it in the middle, so I got some editing to do. Oh, come on. Oh, where's my iMovie? There it is. And continue. And oof. I don't think I did the green screen. I got a green screen and I thought, ooh, maybe I didn't do the green screen. Let's see how long today's was. We got that one. Then we got this one. It was a long one, 46 minutes. We got 52 people in here and 40 thumbs up. So 12 people need to hit the thumbs up. And nobody's got questions for me. Let's just go here. Oh, come on. There we go. We're going to colorize this, and then I'm going to... Okay. Boy, that one's funky. We'll put reduce background noise and then voice enhance. And we'll go over here. We'll do automatic. We'll copy and then edit, paste adjustments all. And then I got to edit the okay.
It should start to 50 for an oil company. That's not a bad move whatsoever. So whatsoever. Oxy is a hold in the quant.
There we go. Now I got to put in my green screen stuff and then I'll... Wah, wah.
This. Andy?
There we go.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, January 7th.
Oh, I got to edit that out. What the hell?
Good.
Oh. Oh.
Good morning. It is Tuesday.
Now we're going to move that back here.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, January 7th.
Okay. Boom. I like it to be as professional as possible, even though your boy's not very professional. But we got a 46-minute podcast. That's not bad. Do export file, iMovie higher, 1.7 pod. Oh, not equal. Save. Wah. XLG is great. Yeah, I love XLG. I think big gets bigger. So AGX. What's AGX? And Jacob, you got to realize Argan. I think this is an alpha pick. I think it's an alpha pick. Nobody knows if it's a long-term buy and hold. It's a strong buy in the quant. But, I mean, for me, am I buying a construction, engineering, and industrial as a long-term pick? Nope. Because it's not my thing. I mean, that's the difference, Jacob. I mean, at 150, the average price target is 150. There's only 2 analysts that cover it, so take that with a grain of salt. But for me, it's a market cap of $2 billion. Do I want to buy and hold this one? No. I mean, that's not my thing. But it might be your thing. 67. Welcome, Bob. Just don't ask me for tech support. I do that at my parents' house all the time. Once you get over my age, I think my tech support level, my tech support patience is tested. Even though I know people who are well older than me that I'm like, holy shit, how'd you do that? So Argan, for me, Jacob, I mean, that it doesn't fit my buy and hold. So, but it's number 1 out of 34 in construction and engineering. So the quant loves it. Quant loves it. But okay, it's 10:04. I've stayed on long enough. I think I bullshit at the beginning. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Welcome, Bob. I haven't heard from you before, but you're an OG. Am I the OG on this pod? You might be. I don't know, Scott. I think Scott is. You might be. You might be the OG. Although my dad doesn't listen. My mom has listened. My parents' friends listen, and they're 80s. Yeah, so Bob, I don't need to do tech support for you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anybody that listens to podcasts that's 67 years old, you got to have some technology in your veins. That's in your DNA, the technology. If you're listening to a podcast at 67. So kudos. Where's the market? Let's see market data. God, and I can't wait until this fucking, 2020 top stocks 2025 pod. I need to start using Chrome. I'll switch that up maybe today if I have time. I got to take the girls for a mani-pedi. the dogs, just in case anybody's new and doesn't know what that means. So the S&P, the NASDAQ, yeah, everything seems to just be coming back a little bit. Let's see, Apple. I don't know why Trendspider. It's definitely an Apple thing. So yeah, Apple's kind of even. Let me check my portfolio. Big portfolio check in Fidelity. I'm down 0.33%. So it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be at the beginning of the day, but my Webull account is down 1.82%. And that's because you got NVIDIA down NVIDIA's down 2%. There's selling going on. That hit 150 and yeah, let's look at that because that's just price. That's not news. That's just, hey, we're going to take some profits here. Am I buying here? Hell no. I'm waiting until that gets under 140 again. And then I'm buying. Yeah, market opened. And you saw everybody with their damn, these are the Walters of the world where the market opens up and, they have market orders to sell the day after Jensen makes his speech. So when that gets down below that 140 line, I'm buying again. I'm just going to buy again. I'm not concerned about this one whatsoever. I think it's setting up for, the next earnings period, which he would not be going out there and making speeches at CES if they didn't have some great earnings on the next round in February. So it's a long time away. So, but look, the MACD is resetting on the weekly. Is this going to turn into support at 140? I don't know. It's been resistance. You can't call it support yet because it hasn't held over it for a week. So if this candle holds over 140, the low right now is 144. You're only at 145. And you're only on Tuesday on this weekly candle. So I wouldn't put it past this one continuing to come down. I just think, people like to know that a stock has the ability to double. And right now, NVIDIA does not have the ability to double. Right now, Apple does not have the ability to double. Right now, Microsoft does not have the ability to double. It just doesn't. So you're going to see, those are safety stocks right now. They're the largest ones. People are going to flock to them during safety and times when maybe, it's a little bad. But let me make sure.
But I do think that...
Okay, those are green screen. Sweet. So yeah. Okay, I'm out of here. My computer's starting to slow down a little with Trendspider on Safari, so I got to restart Safari. Take care, you guys. See you. Bye.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room